More often than not, of all the relationships that you've had, do you end the relationship or does the guy?
I've ended every single relationship.
What about you?
I've also ended every single relationship.
How many relationships have you been in?
3.
What about you?
3.
What about you?
Mostly me.
How many relationships have you been in?
4, 5.
What about you?
I've ended them all, I think like 5.
I've ended them all and I've only been in 2.
What about you?
5 or 6, and only once has somebody else ended the relationship.
What about you?
75% me, 8 or 9 relationships.
4 relationships and I've ended all of them.
Ended all 3.
Whoa. So hold on. A typical complaint I hear from women is, why are men so commitment phobic? Why are men scared of commitment? Why don't men want to get married? All of you, it's almost unanimous, have ended all of your relationships.
Can I add
Once
something?
you get commitment, you overwhelmingly
Okay,
end
can
it.
I
And those are the facts. They can get commitment, but they can't seem to settle. And the biggest threat to a relationship, now I want to make it 50-50, it's also on a man's. 50% on a man, 50% on a woman. But the biggest threat to a relationship is the dissatisfaction of a woman. That's why they say, happy wife, happy life. Problem is, women are not happy when you make them happy. Women are happy when you make them unhappy. Women are happy when they look up to you, meaning you look down on them. A queen can only be satisfied if she looks up to her king. A queen no longer feels like a queen when she looks down on her king. And that's just the ruthlessness of female nature. Remember, guys, it's not us that decide the rules of the game. It is them. We would be fine with a 50-50 share of power. We would be fine with a 50-50 arrangement. They are the one who lose attraction the moment they get 50-50. They are the ones who try to get 1%, 2% more and disrupt the imbalance because they're constantly trying to test your manhood. They're constantly trying to test how strong of a bull you are or how much of a bitch you are. Those are the facts, and that's female nature. But let's get to the reasons why the people in the video decide unanimously to end their relationships with their male counterparts. Let's understand, let's dissect why is it that females are so quick to leave a relationship and go for another one. Let's understand the motivations behind it and the incentives behind it. And also, why is it that they're so comfortable doing it in comparison to men who way more easily can settle for whatever it is that they have? And at the same time, let's understand that question at the end of the video that so many women struggle with. They say men are commitment phobic. Let's understand exactly why is it that men hold back so much from committing to a woman and what's exactly at stake. Let's understand the motivations behind it. And women, let's be more educated. Men, let's be able to explain this to women so that they don't antagonize us and victimize themselves, and that they understand very well why is it that we have so much to lose as men when we commit to women, and why in general it's just better to hold back and enjoy the spoils of short-term relationships. Even though the benefits of long-term relationships are numerous, and we all men, they crave deep connection and they crave long-lasting, meaningful, life-altering relationships. I'm gonna break it down for you right now. So the first question, why is it that 70% of divorces seem to be initiated by women? Why is it that women are so comfortable ending their relationship? From the male perspective, as a man, I always prefer that the women ended their relationship. So what I would do, this is extremely toxic and I have changed as a man, but what I would do is I didn't want to get the guilt of ending the relationship. So what I would do is I would just decrease the quality of our relationship, make her unhappy so that she would take the guts to end it so that I can say, you see, I still love you. You're the one who ended. That way, it would make it easier for me to get that rebound sex whenever we wanted, because the premises was always she wasn't happy with the relationship. She's the one that took off, but my heart is still here for her so I can get that rebound sex. Now, this is messed up, but a lot of men do this. This is what I did when I was 18, 19, 24. You know, I'm a grown man right now, and I take responsibility for my actions, and I try to live with integrity. So my focus is on having conscious relationships and speaking my truth above everything. If I'm unhappy, I'll leave, no problem. I've changed the power dynamic. But it's a very convenient power dynamic for a young man to have his woman leave him, and he can just say, hey, she's the one that did it all. But remember what I said in the beginning of the video. It's 50-50 in terms of responsibility. Even though 70% of the women are initiating divorces and breakups, the responsibility is on both of them. The trigger is female unhappiness. The fact is, men are way more comfortable with living in unhappy situations than women. Men are way more comfortable in settling for basic, settling for okay than women. Women are constantly trying to improve their nature. And this is related to so many aspects that I'm going to break down right now. Number one, they are hypergamous, all right? Which means women are attracted to males with more power than them, people that provide a platform for them to increase their social status, to increase their quality of life. That's why somebody who looks like a loser and is living on the street does not attract any woman, but somebody who looks exactly the same, but is now on the cover of a magazine and has a guitar, or he's a rock star, he's famous, now suddenly is attractive. This study has been conducted a bunch of times by evolutionary psychologists, and the way women perceive attraction is entirely related to the status of the male and the social benefits that he brings with it. Number two, women want more. In life, women want more variety. Women want different shoes, women get bored easily, women want different meals, while men will be happy with the same piece of clothing and the same style of eating throughout the entire week. Women will need variety. They will need variety. There, they get bored easily. They are artistic in their essence. They need to feel passion. They need to feel entertained. They need the elixir of life. It is your job as a man also to keep her entertained. It is crazy, but it is like that. They're different than us. And this desire to want more is essential for the human species. They are the ones that are driving us men to move forward. They are the ones that are instilling ambition. They are the ones that are creating competition within the game. They want more not only for themselves, they also want more for the species. They want a better life in general. The third reason why it's so easy for them to constantly break up and move on to the next chapter, they have options. Women have a lot of options in the dating market. So they know if something is not working, it's okay to find something else. It's easy. They probably keep these options. Them so-called friends, their DMs are filled with people proposing them. Every time they go in the street, let's just say a woman gets approached in the street 3 times in a day by different men to have sex with them and to receive some sort of appreciation, whether it is dinner dates or gifts or just protection. It's not that crazy to think of that. 3 times in a day is not that much. Now, a year has 365 days in total. If you multiply that, in a year, a woman is being approached more than 1,000 times to have sex with other men. So they know they have options, okay? Get out of your imaginary horse where you think that women's loyalty is guaranteed. It is not, okay? Women are constantly being pursued by other men, and it's only right to do so because it's the value they bring to the world, and we as men recognize it. The other thing that you have to see is you notice how these women in the video were ruthless about it. They were talking about without any shame. I broke up with X, Y, Z. I broke up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. It don't care. It don't matter. There's no pity. They will so easily reject men. And why is that? Where is this ruthlessness coming from? It comes from the fact that women are in this life to survive. They are driven by survival. You think your morality, your principles match any of the intensity of her survival? Well, I hope so, my friend, because what you need as a man is you need balls and spine, all right? You need courage and integrity. But women, they're not driven by principles. They are not driven by higher goals. Women are driven by the will to survive. And to do that, they are willing to do anything. To ensure their social status remains the same or becomes higher, they're willing to do so much. And yes, it's a generalization, but I'm talking about instinctively. Of course, the way you raise your daughter and your sons will influence very much on how they approach this game of life and what is it that they prioritize. But instinctively, women are geared for survival. That's why they will date bad boys. That's why they will be attracted to bad boys. Even though morality, they will recognize that there's many things wrong with a certain man. Instinctively, they will find it attractive, the fact that he can protect them and the fact that he can school other boys, the fact that he can assert dominance and exert power over others. It's just what turns her on. She can't control it. Now, changing the topic, and this is a lesson also for the women, but I think men should be educated enough to be able to explain to women why is it that we are commitment phobic. There's several reasons. Time is on our side. Time is on the side of men. We don't have to make quick decisions. We don't have a biological clock ticking. Actually, we have every incentive to take it slow because once you become a dad, you cannot unbecome it. It is your job for the rest of your life. You will become a granddad eventually. So there is every benefit to postponing. The second one is opportunity cost. The opportunity cost for a male is high. And while he dedicates his time to a woman that could be a failed project, he could be investing in different types of experiences. The third reason, which I think is the most important one, is that relationships often feel like a zero-sum game for men, meaning the costs of the relationship far outweigh the benefits. The predicament that we face in modern relationships is that as a man, you give your loyalty to a woman in a relationship, but in return, you get zero authority because we're still living in this 50-50 paradigm, which many times the power balance actually fluctuates to the woman. So it's actually 40% men, 60% men. The value that you're getting from being in a relationship does not justify the cost of being in that relationship. So the authority that you get does not justify the commitment that you put. The benefits that you get from her do not justify the sacrifices that you have to give for her. And this is on women to learn how to be better women. This is on women to learn how to be keepable. See, men, they need to know how to get women. Women, they need to know how to keep men. This is how nature works. That's the equation. Another one is the cost of divorce. The cost of divorce is incredibly high and it tends to favor women. Add to that the cost of children. Add to that the cost of alimony. And now we're talking about crazy risks. And the last thing is the cost of having to adapt to another person in your life. As men, you're very comfortable being alone. You have to learn how to live alone. Women don't have to learn that so much because they have the support of each other. They work within female community networks. Men, they learn how to survive and how to feel happy in a lonely way. They learn how to be self-sufficient and to be willing to throw that away in order to adapt your lifestyle to a partner lifestyle can be quite difficult and quite costly. So you have that. You have that peace of mind and that lifestyle that you've created on your own as a man. And then as you fall in love with a woman or there is a potential partnership ahead, you have to weigh in the cost of bringing her into your life and finding a new balance, which in many cases is never found. And men have to give so much of their privacy and of their alone time or their rituals for the sake of the woman, which normally tend to be way more demanding than the men. They tend to have higher standards than the men. They tend to be higher maintenance than men. So that's it, guys. This is why women start most of the divorces. And this is why men tend to seem like they are commitment phobic. They're not actually commitment phobic. They're smart to avoid commitment. It's in their interest to avoid commitment. And it's your job as a woman to know how to keep him close and to convince him to commit. Now, See you on the next one, and I hope you liked it. Subscribe and like, and please comment if you agree or if you disagree. Later.